pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, good morning and welcome to the December 28th, 2020 Clinton County Board of Commissioners meeting. As always, the first item on our agenda this morning is the opportunity for public comment. We ask you keep it brief and respectful. That being said, is there anyone who wishes to speak? Okay, seeing none, we'll go ahead and go on to our first item. Under old business, I'm going to go ahead and rearrange this a little bit. I know Todd Corey's here from the Frankfurt Utilities to give us a letter. We'll just go ahead and let you go first, Todd. Okay. That way you don't have to sit around and wait.
I can talk briefly about this.
Okay.
Awesome, Josh. If
Okay.
you don't mind, in case
Oh,
there's
that's
any
great.
questions. We are getting ready to do some major additions, upgrades, everything, infrastructure upgrades through the water department. And one of them is to rehabilitate what we call the West Tower.
Okay.
I call it the middle tower.
Yeah.
Because Jefferson out there. And with that being said, we have to notify the Board of Commissioners according to the interlocal agreement, which I have copies here too, if everybody wants a copy of that. We have to notify you within 90 days.
Okay.
That's going to take place to take down the antenna.
Okay.
Which is at the owner's expense. We have not awarded the bid yet. We are in the middle of an audit for the water department to get our SRF funding, so we're probably looking at late February, early March.
Okay.
Before we award those bids. Then I'm assuming spring breaks, these guys may get in here and get started.
Okay.
With that being said as well, there may be an opportunity that they get here and actually visually inspect it, and the antenna may not have to come down.
Okay.
We're just kind of flying by the seat of our britches right now, but we want to make sure that we notified everybody within that 90, at least 90 days prior.
Okay.
to that happening. And I'm sure our contractor, it's not the first time that they've ever came across an antenna or antennas on top of there, that they may be contracted themselves to take it down. Once we
Right.
award the bid, we can notify you who we're dealing with, and maybe they can you can work with them to get this thing down, or hopefully it can even just stay in place.
Okay.
Okay?
That sounds great. Yep.
All right.
I think once that time rolls around, we'll just.
Does anybody want a copy of the interlocal agreement just in case?
I'll take one. Yeah.
And I think it's really spelled out on page 3.
Okay. Thank you, Todd.
Do you need one?
No.
Okay. All right, is that it?
That's it, Todd. I appreciate it, man.
All right, thank you, everyone.
All right. See ya.
Have a happy new year.
All right. Thanks.
Sorry.
Okay, and then before we move on again, Greg is the gentleman from Arcor here. I thought that was you, but I didn't want to point at you, and then it not be you. So, you do care to speak to the bids that we received for the East Side EMS project? Are you ready to make a recommendation, or?
Sure, I mean, if you'd like me to, I can.
Yeah, I think we're ready. Yeah, we don't want to let our foot off the gas, so to speak.
Morning, everybody. My name is Matt Reeves Summer with Arcor Engineers out in Lafayette. Last week we had bids for the Michigan Township EMS project were open. I think you all have copies of those numbers. If you don't mind, I'll just read those out loud.
That's fine.
Okay. One of the bids was from C.A. Taylor LLC. It was for $509,000 to complete the project in 168 days. Current construction, $535,328.48. 140 days to complete the project. And Taylor Construction, $455,700 with 130 days to complete. Taylor Construction was the low bid. They are also the company that just recently built the Madison Township EMS addition. I haven't had a chance to talk to Greg personally yet, but them being the low bid, from my understanding, they completed the project more than adequately. My recommendation would be to go ahead and and go with Taylor Construction.
Okay.
There doesn't seem to be any issues from Greg or anybody else about their work completed prior, and also they filled out all the documentation accordingly. So I don't personally see an issue with going ahead with that low bidder.
Okay. Yeah. I've had several folks reach out to me in the community on behalf of Clint Taylor and his group, and how good of a job they do and how responsive a contractor they are. So I have no problem going with them also. So I'm glad to hear that we're on the same page.
Okay. And just it gets confusing. Just to clarify, Taylor Construction is Adrian Taylor.
Okay.
And then Clinton Taylor's with
Gotcha.
Taylor.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway.
Okay.
Thank you.
You have a motion to go ahead?
I would make that motion to accept Taylor Construction at the above mentioned price.
Okay. It's $455,000, is that correct?
$455,700.
And that was 130 days?
130 days.
Okay.
I don't believe there was a particular start date. My understanding and the contractor's understanding was that there wasn't an urgency to start necessarily in January or February, but when construction sort of season starts, that's acceptable.
Okay. Second. Okay. Motion carries 3-0. Good deal. Okay. First up under old business is to approve the snow bids. I think we need a motion.
I've seen them.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to accept and approve Smith Lawn Care's snow removal bid.
Second.
Okay. Motion carries 3-0 to approve Smith. We'll have to figure out what we're going to do with the Board of Health. So
That's fine.
just be flexible with us. I'm sure you will.
Let me know what
Okay.
we need to do.
Yeah.
Start or stop, or
Yeah, I think
you
we need,
make
to
arrangements
we need to continue.
with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So if we need to make some kind of an adjustment because it's a different facility.
Right.
Okay. Okay, next on the agenda under old business is approve the farm cash leases.
We still working through those, Tom, or?
Yeah, so I don't think we've heard back if we've received, I don't know if there's any way we can check to see if we ever did receive documentation from David Gerald in the past. I don't know, Britt, did you see anything? Did he ever submit anything in the past years as far as documentation? Do we have both bids by chance?
I mean, I thought I sent that to you, Tom,
Okay,
via email, what I had upstairs, but I can check.
We can, let's do, it's not gonna hurt to wait.
Yeah, I would say we just continue it till
Okay.
the next meeting, and we'll just get something figured
So
out.
you guys scanned it, didn't hit send or something.
okay, no problem.
Yeah, I can look.
Okay. Next up on the agenda is the appointment for the Community Corrections Board. Jerry, will we decide that Mark said, Mark, you want to do that? Okay. Okay,
I'm needed.
what's that?
Wherever I'm needed.
Okay,
Do we need a motion?
yes, let's do so.
I'll make a motion to appoint Mark Timmons to the Community Correction Board.
Second.
Okay, motion carries 3-0. Excuse me. Next up is to approve it was resolution 2020-11, which would authorize elected officials participation in the Indiana Public Retirement System. Currently, the way the law reads, or the resolution reads here in Clinton County, is that all elected officials are allowed to participate, with the exclusion of county council and county commissioners. So this would remove that clause and allow commissioners and council to also be in the same class of elected officials as the auditor or the sheriff or the treasurer or so on and so forth, and be allowed to participate in the Indiana Public Retirement System and be able to draw pension after I believe it's 8. Is it 8 years, Tom, or 10 years?
It's 8
years.
years. 8 years if this is the only place you
Yeah.
work.
Okay.
It's 10 years if you have prior service, like from the city or a school.
Yeah. So back in the 1970s, the Clinton County Council excluded commissioners and councilors from being able to participate in PERS or PERS or whatever you want to call it, the pension system. So, and I think the reason they did that at the time is because a lot of public pensions for government elected officials and employees were self-ran and self-sustaining. They weren't through the state of Indiana like they are now. So at that time, you know, pensions were going they were going under. They couldn't fund them. So I think that's why Clinton County got out of it. But that's not the case today. NPERS is very strong, and I think it's only fair that commissioners and council have the same opportunity as the other elected officials, and hopefully that will spur more people wanting to run and be an little added benefit. It's not huge by any stretch of the imagination, but I think it's important to treat these guys fairly. So, and then on top of that, commissioners are in charge of benefits, and I'm not sure the council ever had any authority to remove councilors and commissioners from being able to participate. So that being said, it'd be my recommendation that we pass this resolution carrying forward so that we. So,
I would like to make the motion to vacate first, the 19, I believe it's 77.
Okay.
Vacate that first.
and you want to rescind it?
Yeah, vacate it, yes.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, motion carries 3-0 to vacate the old resolution. Now I'll entertain a motion to pass the new resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion carries 3-0 to pass resolution 2020-11.
May I ask a question? Are we going?
It's too late.
It's too late. All right. Are we going to, the ones that are sitting on council or commissioners today, are we going to go back to when they were first elected?
Still kind of working out the details, if that's even possible.
Okay.
There have been some questions posed in reference to certain people that have been on for a while, so
Right.
I'm still, I emailed Donna Frank.
Okay.
And so I want to get with her again and kind of see what the possibilities are, and if so, how to go about it. If
That's
something you want.
fine. Just let me know how it affects us and what we need to do.
Okay.
Yep, sure.
And then there is a matching resolution. I think tomorrow, the council's meeting tomorrow, and I'll be there to speak on behalf of this to them. So, okay. Find my agenda. Any other old business from anyone? New business. Yeah, the first under new business is to approve the county attorney contract.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Any changes, Tom?
No changes,
Okay.
last year, just dates.
I would second.
Okay, motion carries 3-0 to approve county attorney contract for services from Mr. Little. Okay, next on the agenda this morning is we have the appointment of a new highway superintendent. And Kevin, would you like to introduce our new highway superintendent?
This is Rick Campbell. Rick, briefly, he's been out there over 36 years, and he's been my number 2 guy for about as long as I've been around, and I can't think of anybody more qualified, and you do a great job. Probably make you forget me real fast.
Well, congratulations, Rick. We appreciate you being willing to step forward and take on the leadership role.
Thank you.
At the county highway department. And Kevin, we appreciate your input that you've had in this process. That you know it better than anyone. So what you have to say carries a lot of weight with me, and I'm sure Jordan and Steve feel the same way. So we are more than comfortable to move ahead with this and have smooth sailing and an easy transition. And
One question, this is effective like January 30th, or am I on now?
no, so you're fired.
Okay.
No, Jake, you want to make it January 30th?
Well, that'd be
That way you have a little transition period.
yeah, I mean, that would be the first day that,
You're officially.
my retirement starts January 29th.
Okay. No, that sounds good to me. I'll give you guys some time to, Rick, to get acclimated and get things situated. So congratulations.
Thank you.
And thank you.
Thank you.
I'll entertain a motion to appoint Rick Campbell,
So moved.
Second.
Highway Commissioner. Motion carries 3-0. Okay, we have bonds to approve. That more or less is just a signature, isn't it?
Right, you just approve them and then you're just gonna sign down
Okay.
what we call them.
Okay, we have bonds for 2021 for our elected officials. We have Sheriff Kelly, Auditor Brett Osler, Recorder Beth Keeney, Treasurer Gina Brentnacher, and Clerk Ray Harris.
I'll make a motion to approve the bonds.
Second.
Okay, motion carries 3-0.
All of us? Okay.
Okay, next up on the agenda, or does anybody else have any other new business? Jordan or Steve, before we move forward? Any new?
What I have probably bringing under department.
That's next on the agenda, so we'll move forward to department head reports. Are there any department heads here this morning that would like to report anything?
I don't have a report, but a question, if it's appropriate.
Yeah.
Or for a little direction maybe. And Brent, if something's been sent out, or just let me know. Question as I believe like Dennis said, the CARES Act will end the 31st. So, we've had 80 hours where somebody was off, due to being tested, having to be quarantined or positive, come January, if somebody comes in before, depending on what, like when they say you need to get tested or, obviously if they have to quarantine now, does that fall under, their sick time now? Because we don't have that COVID as of January, or what I'm trying to
Right, no, I understand.
ask. So I was just looking I wasn't sure moving forward, come January, is that fall back on, so if somebody needs to quarantine, is that their sick days or their?
I think there's a second round of this got signed last evening. Is that correct?
Yeah.
By the
I
president?
believe so.
But I haven't had time to
I
look
didn't know
through
if
it,
that was
and
included in
I
that
don't
or
know
not.
what-
I
yeah.
didn't know.
I know, I don't,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not sure anyone did. Somebody showed me a stack of 5,000
Right.
pages, like that. So to be honest with you, I don't know what's in there.
Okay,
As far as the CARES Act, but what we were relying on for the purposes of what you were
Yes.
talking about was something called the Families First
yes.
Coronavirus
yes.
Relief Act, correct? Something
So maybe
something
not.
like that.
Maybe it doesn't expire, right?
I don't know if it expires on the 31st or not.
I'm not sure either. Because they let you use the 80 hours once.
Right.
And then it will step down, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Like the next.
Yes, but then I wonder if they'll kind of start that over again in January.
So, like if somebody that hasn't been off, but then has to quarantine,
Well,
Is that-
and correct me if I'm wrong, I mean, I've had COVID, but I can get it again. So,
Yes. So I just wasn't, if we had that come up, I
Right.
wasn't sure if you
Well-
find out or just.
Yeah,
shoot
we
it
can
in
do that.
And it's important for the employees to know that we're not gonna leave
Right.
them hanging. I don't think any of us feel like,
No, no.
we're not gonna kick anybody to the curb.
No, not at all.
So we'll
I just
figure
wanted
out-
to kind of, just so I
Yeah.
know moving forward.
We'll figure out a way to
Yes.
take care of that.
Yep.
If that does arise, and there's
Yes.
no renewal of the Families First Relief Act or the CARES Act.
Okay.
I think it's just gonna take us a few days to sort out what actually got signed.
Yep.
So,
Okay,
good
all right.
question.
Thank you.
Sorry.
You got sick days you can use and then
In the
they
meantime.
go back and clean that up.
Sure,
Yeah.
yes, okay.
It does expire on the 31st.
The Families First?
Yeah, I have not found if it got signed in the 5,000 pages.
Okay. Okay. Any other department heads have anything to report this morning? All right, we'll go ahead and move on to the commissioner reports.
Well, I
You
guess
wanna do it?
I could go with that.
Okay.
I asked Sheriff if he'd come up and have some discussion to kind of enlighten us on some items here. I sent a text out to him. Hopefully we have some information. I'm sure he knows what he needs to tell us. So
Okay.
we have an understanding. I originally approached the sheriff with a question. I saw, in my mind's eye, how I could understand commissary, and I know there's rules. Some of those rules we don't know necessarily, and I had some questions from a family wanting to know why, if they bought a few items and had them sent in by Amazon, why or why not they are used. Now, I take it there's probably a list that says, here's what you can and cannot do. I understand that. Hardcover books, no, that kind of thing. So the question is, that I really have is a statement that was made. If we have it in the commissary, they have to buy it from the commissary. It cannot be shipped in from Amazon by a family. Is that how I took it, or I mean, that's why I was waiting to find out today.
Yes, if it's on commissary, they have to purchase it through commissary. Commissary is operated, controlled by the sheriff's office through our vendors, but the whole idea is you can't have outside clothing come in, obviously the hardback books or what you've already been explained, and also if it's offered on commissary, then it has to be purchased on commissary. And the reason why is because that white shirt's not the same as the other white shirts. Those long thermal underwears are not the same as what other long thermal underwear is. So what you end up with is a want. Somebody that wants something that you may be wearing as an inmate, and it creates a safety issue. And it also becomes barter and trade. So in there, money is not available in hand, but commodity is. And that commodity has to be controlled. So the thermal underwear, things like that, they're provided the clothing, shirt and pants, and by Department of Corrections, that's all we have to provide them. They get a shirt, they get pants. If they want to buy the thermal underwear, it comes off of commissary. And if you look, the prices on the commissary items are equivalent to what's on Amazon. And they pay for the product. So, I mean, it's within the same price that you're going to get in the outside market.
Have you got a list that?
I do, and I can send that to the commissioners, and I'll send you a picture on the commissioners, because what they stay at is a convenience store price. So in the retail market, you know that some things at a convenience store are gonna be a little higher than what it would be at a, like Costco or Sam's Club or a large retailer. So, I mean, they stay within that price range. So, you know, but it's more for the safety of the inmates that they don't get the ability to order in clothing. And it's one of those things that we stay firm with, that they buy what they buy, and it's off the commissary, and that price stays within the same
So
thing. that
is
we
the cost also in line with, like the BP, you know, when you talk about convenience,
Absolutely.
the price, the cost is that way?
Yes.
So
Yes, sir.
where Walmart would be selling at 15 to 18%, you're selling it at 50%.
I can't tell you. what
That's why I want to
percentage
know,
they're-
I want to see the list, because there's where I have the problem.
Well, okay, you'll see the list, but it is still a part of the safety of that facility, is that they are not allowed to order in things from outside. So it stays, everybody has the generic same everything.
Well, I understand
rather
that.
than
Is there
somebody
not,
else getting Under Armour in.
is there not a reason why that list cannot be given to family and have it sent in?
It's provided to the inmate. These are adults that are located in that facility. So those adults that are incarcerated have to make that conscious decision, not somebody outside. So it's kind of
But
that.
somebody outside that's putting the money in.
That is beyond my reasonable expectation of having control over.
Sure.
Whether they put money in, that's their option, not mine. So I mean, it is what it is. They're inmates, they're adults. They have a list of everything that's on commissary.
Well, if
They know
if they
from
did not put the
policy.
money in, how else would that money be there for anybody to use commissary?
Somebody from outside putting money in.
Yeah.
Like if they put extra money in for Christmas, whatever the case is, then they have to count on this person being an adult and purchasing whatever they purchase.
Well, I understand that, but
I-
the money for commissary comes from the outside by somebody sending it.
Some, not all.
Do they have?
Some people get their own deposit put in. I mean, you know, and it's one of those things, you ask me on Christmas Eve to provide you this information, I'll get it to the commissioners. But they have money, some people have state checks that are put in there, some people have disability checks put in there. Some people have their own money and they don't have outside influence. So if a family's concerned about what they're spending it on, then they need to have that conversation with the inmate, not me.
No, it's not what they're spending it on. I think the question is they didn't know, and evidently some things can be shipped in and some things can't.
Well, I've never received that call from that family, neither has our jail staff.
Yeah.
You know, we've been this route before with the same family. And the policy in that they see that the inmates sign off on clearly states there shall be no clothing purchased outside of what's on the commissary.
Good.
The inmate knows that. The inmate needs to share that with whoever is providing money, or where they dictate where the money goes. I can't expect my staff to oversee somebody's account.
I have no problem.
And they purchase,
Yeah.
and I'll get you the list of things, but the items that they can purchase, those items are priced by, you know, the vendors, and they stay within the convenience store prices. And so, I mean, we'll provide it to you. You can take a look at it. It's not a problem.
Okay, another question I have, and I don't know this to be true, and I'm going to let you enlighten us on it. If a inmate had a headache and asked, and they have to have a nurse give them the ibuprofen or whatever, is there a charge for that?
On the ibuprofen,
$15 to see the nurse?
I didn't know, they can purchase their own ibuprofen. I think they can also do aspirin, and they can purchase that, and it has the inmate's information on it, so that, and it's just issued to them. There's not a $15 copay. It's not.
Well, what is the $15 for?
Dentist, doctors, anything that Steve
Nurse-
would
the nurse
go to
inside.
the quick clinic, that's $15 copay. You wouldn't get a $15 copay for a headache at home, putting aspirin into a glass of water or Alka-Seltzer. I mean, that, they don't get charged a $15 copay for that. They do get charged if they see the nurse practitioner or the doctor or the nurse at the facility, if they need further care, other than headache, things like that, because all that stuff's open and available to them. They don't get to keep it in their cell,
Sure,
but they have to ask for it and they get it off the medical card every day.
okay. But I was told about $15 to see the nurse. Now, I didn't know if that was true or not.
If it's a medical issue, yes, it is. I'm thinking, and I'll revisit the contract or the policy with the medical company, but if it's something that leads to a physician or the nurse to give care, then there is.
What about the prisoner that has no money in an account and needs to have some medical care?
Well, they're considered indigent. And there's a whole policy set by the Department of Corrections on how a person is indigent. And it's X amount of days without money on the books and so on and so forth, but they will get medical care. They don't get put in the corner and told, well, you don't have $13, you don't get service. We provide medical service, we're required.
Okay, so if the person is indigent, but there's a family member trying to take care of some necessities.
They're provided everything. They're provided toothbrush, they're provided soap, they're provided hygiene care products if they're indigent. If a person chooses not to have money put on their books and they want to stay indigent, then they are indigent. But if they are putting money on their books and they get $40 worth of potato chips and they have another $45 on their books and they want to see the nurse for a rash or a skin condition or a heart condition, they will be charged a $15 copay because they don't fall into that indigent status as controlled by the state of Indiana and Department of Corrections. So, you know, it's
Just
Yeah.
trying
I
to
get it.
get enlightened here.
yeah, it's a lot. It's
Yeah,
a lot to take in.
I guess it's good that I don't know all that.
You're gonna get it.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's why
Yeah.
that has come up, and I said that I would follow through.
Right, absolutely. You know, and the best thing for them to do is call the staff and have those questions answered without having to, you know, wait on you to get the information, things like that. It's
Well,
all
I mean,
available to them, and all they need to do is make a phone call.
Yeah, up until the end of the year, that's my job.
Yeah,
You know, when they
absolutely.
call and ask, and that's what I'm doing. So, I guess the question would be is, I'm sure, or at least think so, that the council or the commissioners will want to see that list. I think there's some question to me about what that cost is. It may be just fine, I don't know.
Absolutely.
But when it's not a for-profit, and we're getting, if it is in fact running off a convenience store, which is a 50% profit level, to me, that's a problem.
Well, it's a service that's provided, and also comes.
It's a service that's provided by the taxpayers of Clinton County. It's set up because of Clinton County, because we allow it.
Yes.
So, you know, to be able to get 50% when they were out and walk into any other store and get it for half of that, that's what I want to see. I don't know this is true until you show us the paperwork.
Absolutely.
I'd ask for you to bring it, but hey, we were in the holiday season.
Right. And, you know, the biggest thing you have to remember also is that the commissary does fund quite a bit of other things at that facility. And commissary is designed to provide other programs and pay for other programs.
I fully understand that. I've done it for 20 years.
You're asking other vendors and other people to bring in commodity to the facility that they got to get paid. If you think in 2021 that shipping hasn't increased, it's going to. I mean, just like in your own convenience.
I've done this for 52 years. I understand the profit level
I get it. It's not
and
easy
how
to
that
get that
runs.
stuff
That's
there.
why I'm asking the questions that I'm
Sure.
asking.
Absolutely.
So if you can provide that'd be great at your earliest date, which probably be next year. But
Okay.
that's all I want to bring it up. I told the family I would check on it.
Absolutely.
I want to be true to my word. So thank you.
Any other questions?
I don't. Do you have any questions?
I just had one. Is there some items that they can ship in? Or do
They can ship in books, they can, have.
Like paperback books and stuff?
Paperback
Okay.
books are the only thing that's allowed, and one of the reasons why, because with a hardback book, I mean.
Yeah,
hardback book
it could be an
is-
item or,
yeah.
yeah.
If you throw that at somebody, it might hurt, but
Yeah.
I'd say that if you buy Peace and War, and throw the paperback version, it would be just as deadly. So those are the items, and it's clearly listed in the jail policy what can be shipped in.
Okay.
And, and clothing is not one of them, because
Yeah.
they have to stay within the confines of what they wear. It helps us identify people and everything else, but they're provided what the Department of Corrections, says. And that's just like, we provide extra things to them, like extra blankets, things like that on request. We just purchased 180 to 190 mats, new bedding for the facility over the last three to 4 months. And, so I mean, that's the call, that's what's bought out of commissary is the items for the facility. So I mean, whether it's, it is what it is, we have to use that, and the inmates appreciate getting the other things that they can buy off the commissary. And, and it does become one of those things where you have to, we try and be considerate of the prices. We don't really set the prices the outside people do. And we don't go to Walmart or Costco and buy things in bulk because it's all shipped in. And what that gets you away from is things that are expired, food items, things like that. It all comes from a facility, and they're responsible for it, not us.
I was more or less surprised there was anything that wasn't. I assumed it all went through commissary, but I didn't know they could get anything. So.
If you get books that has to come from Amazon or the Barnes and Noble, the manufacturer has to be purchased from outside and sent in. We do have issues with people will buy or ship in false items. I mean, I'm sure everybody in the room has had something delivered either from Amazon or from Barnes and Noble or some outside vendor. These people will get the boxes and they'll try and reship things that are not, just like contraband, that we have to, and we find it, and then, and things like that, we go from there. But I mean, we do have to be careful, even coming from an outside vendor. Most of it comes from Lebanon, Indiana, and believe it or not, a lot of people work there that have family that are inside the facility. So, I mean, we do have to be conscious of everything that comes in. So we have to have, we got to kind of stand on those rules that we don't allow much else in. So,
Well, thank you for the explanation. I appreciate
You're welcome.
that.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Sheriff.
Thank you. And Steve, thank you for everything.
Oh, you're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Okay. Any other commissioner reports this morning?
No.
Okay. Move on to claims. Let's see, we've got claims dated December 18th, 2020, in the amount of $4,573.51. Wednesday claims dated December 23rd, 2020, in the amount of $35,015.96. Biweekly claims dated December 28th, 2020, in the amount of $318,489.63. Court claims dated December 28th, 2020, in the amount of $64,927.72. Did either of you gentlemen see anything in the claims docket that you wish to contest?
I did not.
No. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve
So
claims.
moved.
Second.
Okay, motion carries 3-0. In the matter of payroll, we have payroll dated December the 18th, 2020, in the amount of $415,056.20. Entertain a motion to approve payroll.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion carries 3-0. In the matter of commissioner minutes, we have meeting minutes dated December 1st, 2020, December 14th, 2020, and an executive session meeting minutes dated December 17th, 2020. Did you guys see anything you wish to change or edit?
No.
No.
Motion to approve.
Entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion carries 3-0. All right. With that being said, Steve, I'd like to congratulate you on your 20 years of service to Clinton County and some of the things that have happened while Steve's been a part of government here in Clinton County are Central Dispatch, East Side Drainage, the extension of utilities not only to Jefferson, but now all the way to 65 and 28. He was a part of East Side Drainage. He's been a part of $2.8 million in community crossing grants for paving. He was instrumental in a $500,000 grant for the Forest Township Fire Department. He was also very instrumental in the single largest private investment that's ever been made in Clinton County, and that was in the form of a $200 million solar installation here. And the thing that's most impressive to me is that we've had an unprecedented 5-year hold on group health insurance costs, and what that's meant to Clinton County has been huge. And I could keep going, Steve, but everybody wants to go home this morning. So I can't thank you enough for what you've meant to me and helped me become a better leader. And Jordan and I want to give you this certificate of recognition here. And it's on behalf of everyone in Clinton County. We appreciate your years of leadership and thank you for everything you've done for us.
Thank you. I'd shake hands, but we're not supposed to.
I know. Thank you. One of these days, I'll shake
All I can say is just thank you to everybody. And it's been a privilege to sit in the spots that I have done for over the years. And I hope that others, and I know that been followed up by Mark, and he helped bring in his own things, as well as you guys. I have been able to work with great people. All the departments, I mean, they're actually the ones that make us look good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we can't say enough about the department heads. Even when things are tough, and there's tough, it sounds like tough talk, and maybe it is, but I appreciate every one of them, and I've gone head to head with probably everybody over 20 years. But I've been able to walk out the door and they shake hands, we talk, and it was business that was to be done. And have I made mistakes? Absolutely. And Mark, you will too, in your time. We all do, but it's not the mistake that we make, is how we're going to clean that up and move forward. But again, I can't say enough to get people to be a servant of the county. It's our home. It's been my privilege, and I thank you.
Well, thanks, Steve. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
On retirement.
Thank you.
Okay. Is there anything else that needs to come before the Board of Commissioners this morning? Okay, seeing nothing, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
All right, meeting adjourned.